Oh, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, we're almost at the end of January 2026 at the time of filming, so I think it's time for a little look round. I haven't got done what I'd like to do, but does it matter? It's only a hobby. So let's have a little look round plot one first. So we've got the pallet collars at the ready to replace this area here. I was going to cut all this plastic up to fit the tops of pallet collars, etc. I can't use this bed this year without getting the pallet collars done, so that's one of the priorities, he says. But we've managed to get the blackberries done, and they're still showing a lot of green, and the ladybirds are still about. Whether they're just sheltering, I don't know, but whilst I was pruning, as you see in a previous video or videos, they're still about. We need to look after them. I'm going to do a vegetable harvest at the end of this video, so I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can. And all the autumn fruiting raspberries have now been cut back. It's just above ground level. Now produce new shoots this year, and on those new shoots we will get our fruit. Unlike summer fruiting raspberries, we get the fruit on the second year's growth. My poor dahlias, haven't done nothing with them. I think it's going to be a case of just letting them grow again this year, and we'll try again next year. Or, yeah, next year. Oh dear me. 2027, dear me. That's the last bag of sheep's wool that I collected, and I'm going to be using that elsewhere. I'll do a video when I get to that point. I still have about 1,000 litres here of the compost that's unscrupulously dumped by the cannabis growers. Just need to give it a weed and see if there's any more vegetables in there. I spy with my little eye maybe something for Sunday dinner. And that's just grew in spent compost, which is what our root vegetables do best. They go down looking for the nutrients where other crops can't reach. I found these fly tipped, these plastic pallets. I thought they'd be ideal for under my giant worm bin, and there's enough there possibly to hold up one of my IBCs that's sitting on a wooden pallet. So, being they're all the same size, I thought, well, I'll take those, and a couple of weeks' time I must take all this debris off here, because my rhubarb will start growing and it'll just spoil it if we don't let it get the natural light that it needs. Green manure, I don't think it needs chopping and dropping. I think I'll just cover it with some compost. I'll probably do a separate video on plot 3, because people don't like watching long videos, but I do need to cover those over. That one's covered in some of the straw that we used to hide the potatoes. Then we've got 2 there with sheep's wool. The far one's green manure. Here we've got some covered with cardboard, again sheep's wool. And I found, or given, or acquired this oversized pallet collar. Don't know where I'm going to put that. Some mint and parsley growing in that one. That's a permanent bed. And the spring bulbs. Some of the bulbs now that Nick from Nick's Allotment, I'll put his tag in the description below. Just press that and that'll take you straight to his channel. But they're really nice ones, and when they open up properly I'll show you again. This is the manure that went rock solid in the manure bay because if you remember, I emptied it out to put my potatoes and store my sheep's wool for the winter. I've managed to break it up a little bit. It's soaked up a bit of the water, a bit, quite a bit. So that all that needs now is topping off with some of my homemade compost. Red Russian garlic, all coming through nicely. I think all of them have actually germinated. I say germinated, should we say growing. And over that side is the elephant garlic. Again, it's all coming through. The leaves are a bit twisted because they've had a little job pushing through the sheep's wool, but that will help me to not worry about weeding and slowly feed those garlic with a little bit of nitrogen. I'll get bits of polycarbonate, tin sheets all over the place. They need a new home, but time is precious at the moment. Straw bale gardening. I've got 2 bales that got a little bit wet during the Halloween period, so I'm going to bring those over. I'm going to cut that the red string, the actual plastic string off, and then sit those other 2 bales that I've got that are under the shelter where the strawberries are growing. Make good use of those. I only collected 4 bags of leaves this year because of the weather, and my adapted mower mulched all these up. And looking at that and looking at this, what a difference. I'll be better prepared next year, if the weather allows, or should we say next year, in the fall when the leaves start falling this autumn. All the comfrey has died back now, but it's just started to grow again. The strawberries in the guttering doing okay, but they'll be in here for a couple of 3 years until the pallet collars have settled down in the area that I first showed you. No good planting strawberries in something that's you've only just built and filled, because the compost material will sink, which is still happening on the alpine strawberries. I like to weed as I go, but this was up to there and it was mounded over, and this is the 2nd time I've topped it up. Well, it's so much easier when it's higher up. Little strawberries don't hide, but that's proof that we have to be careful what we plant and when we plant it. This has been established now for at least 3 years, but it's still sinking because that's what it does. That's why we top our beds up, because our plants take all that from the ground and we have to give something back, just to prove that it's been raining. Dear me. I wouldn't have been doing that in the summer. I'd have been saving every drop of water. Oh gosh, how do I get to plot 3 now? We redid all the guttering in here, so it's a wick guttering, so those plastic pots have got wicks in. They'll have fresh wicks because the mice nibbled all the good stuff off and made a nest. But yeah, the wicks then dropped in the holes in that Correx through the bucket into some compost, and then the tomatoes or whatever we grow just draws whatever moisture they want. And the blue barrel there, 200 litres, will last a good 3 months, and no watering required. This is my giant wormery. I topped it off with sheep's wool. I haven't had rat issues since. I haven't looked in this for a long time now because I don't like to disturb the worms, but the pallets at the bottom are rotting, so I may as well. I've got some new ones that are under the straw bale gardening, but when I move it further over to the fence line, because I've got a gap there of at least 2 foot that's wasted, I can move all that over. That will give me extra room then to stack some blue barrels up so I can drip feed that gutter in. Again, saving me time, which is quite precious at the moment. As I said, we spoke about the water. Everything's completely full. So what I do, I use the Melif lift pump to fill these up. That one's leaning a little bit. It's not damaging the tap, but all these are full now. And I had 4 more barrels given me the other day. So I've got to get them cleaned and get them cut and then brought up here. But if you've liked the content, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm going to be going over to plot 3 shortly. I'll do the vegetable harvest there. I've got a few carrots in that bin, but I'll come across here to do the vegetable harvest. It's nice to be able to harvest something. The mice seem quite good at it and the rats, so why not join them? Thumbs up for the interaction or a down. Please leave me a comment, read those comments, give them comments a thumbs up, and why not consider subscribing. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends, on this chilly day, but half dry. Till next time.